Right. No.
So we're doing a watercolour, a seascape, and it's on watercolour paper, which is thick enough it doesn't cockle when I put the water on. I use Bockingford, which is a good make. I've used it for about 20 years now. And they judge quality of watercolour paper when they weigh it in a ream. So it can be £90 in weight, £140, £200. If you use £90, you've got to stretch it because it'll cockle. So what artists tend to do is soak it in the bath, let it stretch, then use gum tape and put it all around the sides. And rather than that, I just use £140 and a bit of masking tape and you're away to go. That's all that is involved. Sketching, I normally don't sketch a lot, just a bare outline, but because it's a seascape and I wanted to catch the movement of this wave, know where my darks are, and I have done a lot of sketching, more than I would normally do. So watercolour, we're going to do a wash. More water you put on, the longer you got. And you've got to overcome that fear of water. And this is a very, very steep angle. It should only be sort of at that sort of grade and lean on a book, and that will be enough to keep it flowing the one way. So it's a bit mad, because obviously the water's going to flow down with gravity, but still we'll manage with that. But so we're putting plenty of water on, dropping the colours in, and then let it dry, and then I'll come at it again. So plenty of water. I'm using a brush, it's like squirrel hair in this brush, so it's very soft. You can't skimp on brushes with watercolour. Having said that, alternative is the Chinese brush. Quite reasonable, and yet will hold a lot of water. And so plenty of water on. So let's go for, I'm going to use an intense blue, because I want this lovely sort of summery sort of sky. See, it's a lot brighter than cobalt or ultramarine. And just to show you now, if I get some ultramarine, and you'll see the difference. See the difference in ultramarine to intense blue. But sometimes I mix it, I put the two together. And because I've got a lot of white that I want to register with the wave, I don't want a lot of white in the sky. I want it really to stand out. So I could do it, now it dries a lot lighter when you put on. So you've got to allow for that. So I'm going to put a bit more stronger colour in. It just means I'm putting less water really. Just less water, a bit more paint. And that will be, So and that's all there is to it. That's the sky basically done. But what I'm going to do, I think I'll bring this down over the sea. It won't matter. It'll bring it down here around this wave, and that way I can see where the white is going to go with the wave then. And basically, and then you've got to soak these runs up, or if that part dries before this, it'll draw it up and create a big stain. And often people, when they start with watercolours, don't understand that how they've got stains in their paper. And then while that's drying now, sorry about that, let's go to the beach. So I'm going to use sienna, raw sienna. So I'm using the same brush. So I'm going to use some raw sienna here. And then I'm going to use a bit of light red as well. And as that is quite vivid, I'm going to do something similar with the beach here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bit of ultramarine blue with it, with that light red. So I'll go a bit on the mauve side. And there we go. And just where you'd have the white of the water, the edge. But you see what I've done now? I've dropped in sienna, light red, mixture of ultramarine, and all that is merging softly on its own. So I'm going to use the hairdryer now to dry this. There we go. That's a short way of, you can go on painting. As I said to you the other day that Gwyneth said to me when I went over from acrylic and oil to watercolour, you'll never paint a watercolour. You haven't got the patience. The answer is a hairdryer, really. So can you see how light there is from? And what happens here basically, if you want to know it's dry, you can tip it on its side and look it into the light, and if a part is shining, it hasn't dried, or just touch it with your hands. But you can see now the water has done all of that. It's softly blended in, which is what you got in the sky, isn't it? So it's, you know, great really. And then this is blended nice and soft. So I'll be coming over this later. So now then, I'm going to go for a thinner brush now. Something, this small brush. This is a synthetic brush, but because I'm doing a small area, it will keep it. Now watch what I'll do now. This is the headland up here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of sienna in, only that bit. Then I'm going to mix a bit of ultramarine with a little bit of that, or whatever is in the palette. So this is going to be a headland here. And can you see how the water now is mixing that together? And that will look like it's in the distance. And you always, when you're doing a headland like this, you know, you could put masking tape under it and you'd know it's going to be flat. If you're doing it freehand like I am, then get the bottom flush first. And then, but you can see now the light looks like it's catching that, but it's the water has done the work. So we're going to do something very similar here. This is Ballantoy Bay, by the way, on the Antrim coast, the island, which we're heading for now in a couple of weeks' time. So meet all our family out there. And like I said, the last time I was out there, I was preaching at harvest meetings in a little village called Ballyclare. And yeah, the minister I knew, he took me around the Antrim coast one day for a run, which meant I could get a lot of sketching done, which was great. And then I had an evening, family evening with all the family, because like I say, my mother's from there. Used to go out there as children every year. I've seen us in bed in the night, and my parents wake us up and say, come on, we're off to Ireland. And parents would do mad things like that. And yeah. So it was great, and that was about 20 years ago. I was out there meeting with the family, and yeah. And my cousin Billy wanted to meet Roberta, which was his pig. Which, he'd had as a present one Christmas with the kids. They bought him a piglet. Oh, there we are. So it is a bit mad out there, you can imagine. But you see what I've done now? Just drop those colours in, and you've got the reds, you've got the blues, and I won't do more than that really for now. I'll just let that just register, okay? Now I'll come back to that to you know, get some more definition in, but for now, okay? Now see, if I soak this up, look, it'll create light area, see? See that? So you've got the light catching on. If you notice what I've done, I've got the light coming from this side and the dark on that side. So now, what I want to do now, for this wave to register, the sea's got to be quite dark behind here. But this undercoat here can come through. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix like a bluey green, okay? That you sort of get down in Cornwall, don't you? And you get it Pembrokeshire, and you get this sort of vivid sort of. But
rather than slate grey like we get in
or mud like in the estuary and the Penyrheol, where it's brown, isn't it? Or like in Barry Island, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you don't go in at the end of the day when the tide's picked up, only people left on the beach. Yeah. Having said that, when I was in school as a child, and at Swansea Valley, and we all decided, come on, we're going to go to Swansea. First time ever on the bus on our own. It was like March, that sort of time. There was about 10 of us. And let cause riots in Swansea, really. And then we decided we'd go for let's go for a swim at Swansea Bay, you know. Well, we're down to
March?
Yeah, no, we're down to our pants, you know, because nobody's prepared for this. and not realising how far you got to go before we reach the tide. So we were in all this mud, and then we thought, this is too much fun, why bother swimming? So we had mud fights then.
Oh,
There
no.
was a state we were in by the end of it, I can tell you. But there we go. Now you see I've darkened, but I've left the areas for the light to be catching the water. But now what's going to happen is this wave now will, well, I'll work on that. And I might as well. Well, I'll go on to my, onto this brush now. Now, I'm wanting some darker green, okay? So it just means less water. And I'm trying to work on now, there'll be dark green coming under the turn of this wave here. And there'll be dark green where this wave is turning here. So I'm just looking for areas where I'm going to put a rock there, so I'm so glad I put that there. And there'll be dark greens in here. So I'm working negatively in a sense where I know the whites are going to go. I'll be using gouache on it anyway, but just for now. And then I can soak that up. But I want the light to catch it, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix a real light green here. Can you see that?
Mm.
So it's going to be like the light is catching that wave.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see? And this is where I want the drama. So, and I'll get some darks under here too, where that is turning and that is turning. And I think we're more or less right. Now I want a rock for here, but I don't want to take the interest away from here. So I don't want it too pronounced. I don't want colours too vivid. And you've got to leave the areas jagged. I'll be coming over this rock to get the actual surf coming over it. But that will do for now. And I think while all that is drying, I'm going to come back to this headland here now. It's gone off enough to... Right. So I'm using quite strong paint now. And let's have a look. Let's start here. Like I say, you can see it's still merging, it's still quite soft. Let's come up this end. Right, now I'm taking I'm using a more like blotting paper now, the brush. I'm just merging that up there. Go. And that's it basically. I don't want much more than that there. Okay? And I might as well come in here while I mix that dark. So I'm leaving that light area underneath. Okay? So now then. Now I want to get some nice blues in here now. I'll get some blues here too.
It is so therapeutic watching it.
Now you've got to get all this in for the white to register, see? For the white to stand out. Now I've got a rock here, haven't we? So let's get this rock in there. If it's too strong, no problem. Take the water out of the brush and soak it up, okay? See? So So never worry about mistakes. I do. We're coming over all this. And you've got the gouache, which will correct a lot anyway. So always that's always plan B, is the gouache. If it doesn't come off, don't worry about it. It's now what I'm going to do now is get the effect of like waves in the distance. So I'm using less paint, and you want to do this sort of just hit and miss. All right, see like that. But you don't want it everywhere, and you don't want one on behind the other. You need to stagger them, okay? So all I'm doing now is moving around, leaving parts to dry. But you see, those areas I've left now are like waves turning, aren't they? Mm. See them? Mm. Can you see that? Mm. And to get this to really stand out, I think I'll take that in there.
That's just like getting rid of that, Andrew.
Yeah, right. And it's all practice, I can tell you, all of it. It's all right, okay, I think we don't be labeling out too much now, do we? Right, okay. Right, I think we're almost ready for the gouache, really. Now, this is the fun part of the gouache, right? And let me have a look. Yeah, we'll start with the regular then. So I'm going to mix a little bit of blue, and I'm going to put a little bit of crimson with it. Not much. Then I put a lot of white with it. Get a bit darker than that. I will see if this will register. If it's not dark enough, I can always go darker. So I'm just putting areas that would be in shadow. It should be down in here. Down in here. Now, I think I'm ready for the white now. Okay, so let's try the white now. Now, I hardly touch the paper. You find with watercolour, you're like hovering over it really, and I was saying to somebody earlier, it's a bit like when you got fine bread, you know, and gentle touch, isn't it, if you're buttering it. Can you see that starting to break there? Mm. And then we'll catch this up here too. But because I've put all these darks on, the white now is, the danger is to go to the white first, you know? Where this is, and we can tint the white with like a sienna and make it on the cream side. And it'll warm, it'll stand out even more, you know? But for now, I just want to make sure I've got everything in place. It's that sense of movement I was looking for. But see, you could be all day on this and just enjoy it, you know, because the hard work is done. You're just, really, it's all a bit of nonsense from here on now. And what you can do as well, let me just show you. You can put it like that, right? And you can smudge it and it'll go like spray, see? So let's try that beer then. Let's try it beer. Okay. So let's have a look here. I think I'm going to get the spray by here, just to vary it a bit. Why not? It's a light touch. You could use a sponge, a little sponge. Remember your sponges a while back? You could put the sponge on and you get the same effect. But, there we go. Yeah, so it's sort of vigorous now. It's sort of I'm coming on the edge of that blue. Just from a distance, you've got to stand back a bit. Now I could do with, what did we tell me off? Let me get on to something close. But now I could do with bringing this up a little bit, see? Because that's in shadow more. Okay. Now let's have a look at these rocks. It's a fun part here now. Now here's a trick with rocks, right? Watch this now. You've got to put the brush almost on its side, right? And hover first. Can you see the effect of water running down? Like it's running down the rock? Cool, isn't it? How easy is that? Okay, right. Let's get down. Now we want the wave like it's breaking up over here now. Over this rock. And I think I might smudge it again with the fingers here to get that effect of. Now I can just smudge it a little bit. And then we'll put the shade under here, see, there'll be shadow under there. Alright, let's have a look now. Let's get the white up in here. Coming over there. Like I said, I don't want that to take away from here, so I don't do too much to it, but that's going to be up here now. Now see what's happening now, that white now, I need dark behind there for it to stand out. I should really let it dry off, but we'll give it a go. And then just merge it always in, merge it into the background. See that? Now, I've lost it a bit, like here, so I'll just introduce something else now. Right. So we're almost, almost there now, really. Let's see if this is dried enough. Yeah, it does. Okay. Now then, let's have a look at this rock. And you know how this can go brighter again the more you're on it. And now then, right, I think that's about it really. Now I'm going to get at this brush, and we're really going to go for it now. Not for the faint-hearted now. And I think what I'm going to do, let's get some colour in here. That's made a big difference, hasn't it? That bit of warmth of sienna in there. where you've got the, as it were, the light from the sun coming through, you know. Okay. Now, I really want that. So I can clean it here. I want the light on that. How are we looking now? You see the light is starting to catch that now. Get some lights in here as well. And let's go for a real dark now. Real dark green. And there. And up in here. So you're getting that contrast now between the white of the water and some darks in there. In shadow. Now then, here's the fun part now. Let's in other words, somebody asked me, what colours have you put together there? It's a bit of everything that's on the palette. So, right now, I'm going to get that shadow, reflection, sorry, in here, look, see? Some clean water. So that shadow. And I'm going to get the reflection of that rock. See? Cool, isn't it?
Oh.
See? And then I might just get the water's edge here. And then with the reflection, remember I was showing you the other day? Get all the water out of this brush. You need a good synthetic flat brush for this to work. So, only a few more touches now, that's all. Over there. I'll get a few stones in. Petals, right? Just here and there. You better grouping them together. When people put flowers and again, they put dots everywhere. And you just want them here and there. It's like in a room where everybody's shouting and nobody gets heard. It's a bit like that. You put them everywhere, but you just want them in places here and there. And yeah. Talk about everybody shouting. I remember I was at a minister's fraternal once. Our minister got up and he said, you know my people, he said, my church is like a public swimming pool. All the noise comes from the shallow end. There we are. So, there we go.
Never heard that one before.
No, there we go. Right. And I don't think, what I am going to do, this is where you've got to restrain yourself really, but blow it. That's all up. I'm just going to get a little hint of a light blue catching here. Only here and there, not much at all. And then I'm going to mix as well. This is where I'm messing around now. But we're going to put some grass on the top. See, this is the lovely thing about gouache, isn't it? I don't know why the purists say you shouldn't use it, but there we go. It works, isn't it? And I think I've just got to get over this white again now, and we are finished. Let's get off, that's got to be green. Right, okay. Let's have a look here. And we're almost done now.
That's our homework, is it?
This is your homework, is it? To, you know, when I was in Tenby, in the church there on a Friday, I took a watercolour class. I thought never again, because it was great and all good fun, but oh my, you know, with acrylic you can go over people's work easily, you know, and with watercolour there's just so much technique to it.
This is a university course, isn't
This is, what do you think? I think we're almost there, are we? I'll have the mount, Dave. There's the mount behind you on the windowsill. Yep. I'll try the mount on it. So here we are. And what you can do with it, look, with the stones, get the light catching them here and there. Let's try this now. How are we looking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
There we go. There, end of the lesson.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
So that's a watercolour view.